Next up, a guy that I'm so disappointed is forgotten about in NFL history that really doesn't get his just due. Priest Holmes. Priest Holmes, for those of you that don't know, running back for the Chiefs in the early 2000s. Great. If you ever get the chance to look up Priest Holmes highlights, please do it. This guy was very, very dominant. 3-time Pro Bowler, 3-time All-Pro in 3 straight years. Gage, I'll start with you. Is Priest Holmes a Hall of Famer?
So, yes, I think that he is,
Confident.
but I still don't know that he's going to be a first ballot guy either. Despite his accolades and stuff matching up pretty well with a lot of like Hall of Fame running backs and stuff like that. I feel like the team that he was a part of, the O line that was in front of him, almost discredits him just a little bit because prior to them having the O line that they did, because I think like most, if not all of those guys were like Pro Bowl, all pro talents on that line. I don't think he performs anywhere close as well. And you can say that about any running back, of course. And I think that Priest Holmes was special, but I don't think he really showed it until he had that incredible O line in front of him. And I feel like he needed, I don't know, the rest of his career doesn't match up well either. Like he had those 3 straight seasons where he was really good. So I think that he'll make the Hall of Fame, but I feel like he needed more than that to be a first ballot guy.
Luke, before you go, I just want to say this. Many people don't know Priest Holmes was on that Ravens team in 2000 that won the Super Bowl. So he's a Super Bowl champion.
Yeah.
He was behind Jamal Lewis on that team, who was another 2,000-yard rusher. Priest Holmes is not the 2,000-yard rusher, but Jamal Lewis was. Jamal Lewis was out for a season and in 1998, and Priest Holmes filled in starting 13 of the 16 games and had a 1,000-yard season.
Just went over 1,000. It was
just went 1,008. 1,008. But he only started 13 games.
Yeah. See, I was born at the wrong time. I was born in the prime of Priest Holmes' career. I gotta be honest. If I'm going back to my theory of can I, expunge this guy and still tell the story of the NFL, I think I could. So I don't think in that case, I don't think Priest Holmes is a Hall of Famer. I'm not going to discredit the 3 crazy seasons he had. 2001, 1,555 rushing yards, led the NFL, 8 touchdowns. 2002, 1,615 yards, 1,615 yards, 21 touchdowns, actually 24 total touchdowns, and he didn't even lead the league in rushing. And then 2003.
In 14 games, he had 1,600 yards rushing.
And then in 2003, 1,400 yards rushing, 27 rushing touchdowns. Okay. I'm not going to discredit. And then he had another 14 touchdown season the year after that in only 8 games, which was crazy. I'm not going to discredit the player that he was, but I just don't think he's a Hall of Famer. I think when you look at other guys at the running back position, there's always going to be good running backs in the NFL, but I think only the best of the best of the best should be getting into the Hall of Fame. And was Priest Holmes that? Yes, for 3 years. But is that enough to put him in the Hall of Fame?
But even that, like you just said, like he didn't lead the league in those statistics and stuff. So I feel like to be a Hall of Fame guy, there has to be at least a year or 2 where you are the best at your position.
He led the league in rushing in 2001. Led the league in rushing touchdowns 2002, 2003.
But you were just talking about Terrell Davis, for example, and he had a short prime, but he dominated the league.
Yeah.
Priest Holmes had a short prime, and he was one of those guys. He was one of the better guys, but he wasn't the best guy. You know what I mean?
That's fair. It's a fair point. There were so many good running backs at that time. It's tough that he was put into that situation. Who was the other Chiefs running back that also had the early 2000s?
Yeah, there was
also had what's his name?
I forget his name. I know who you're talking about though.
Yeah,
but he was also really good.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
You're not talking about Jamal Charles, are you?
No, it's not Jamal. It's before.
That's too early for Jamal Charles.
Hold on. I'm gonna look this up. Not Priest Holmes. No.
What's his name?
Nope. Jeez. Larry Johnson.
Yes.
Larry Johnson. Larry Johnson was around the same time. I actually believe it was around that time. I can't remember if he was before Priest Holmes or after. But I think it did have to do with that just completely dominant offensive line that the Chiefs have. I think a bunch of those guys are now in the Hall of Fame that were on that offensive line. So that helps. But obviously, you can't say that it was just the offensive line, because I think Darren McFadden is the perfect example of it being just the offensive line, because he had the most dominant offensive line in the league that year that he rushed for 1,000 on the Cowboys. And he was just, that was so right. Because they had a dominant, I just hit my mic. They had a dominant O-line. Like, they had one of the best O-lines of all time. So literally anybody, you could have put any competent running back behind that O-line and they were probably going to get 1,000 yards. So that's the difference between a really good running back and like a solid running back. So Darren McFadden gets just over 1,000. Priest Holmes, amazing running back, gets that 1,600, 1,500 yard mark with that O-line. So it just adds to it. But I do have to agree that he's not a Hall of Famer. It sucks. Running back is a tough position. I feel like with running back especially, you either need to be Terrell Davis and be the best for the short amount of time. And I mean, like, the best. Like, if Adrian Peterson's only years in the league were like 2008 to 2012, he'd be in the Hall of Fame. Like, he
like, for a running back, it's like, if you're going to have a short prime, it's like you have to be MVP level to be able to make it.
Yeah. He was offensive player of the year. He was an offensive player of the year.
Yeah.
So that's 1 year where he was probably MVP level. But again, I agree. I think this is tough. I think there actually is an argument for him. I do believe that. But I do think you can probably tell the story of the NFL without them. The reason that the Terrell Davis, Jamal Lewis, I don't think is in the Hall of Fame. I don't believe he is.
I don't think so.
But he does have a 2,000 yard season. So if he had more good seasons, he'd probably be in, because you can't tell the story of the NFL without the 2,000 yard rushers. Yeah. So that I feel like that's kind of the way to get in. Terrell Davis, 2,000 yards. It's kind of it helps you get in as running back if you're going to have a short prime, is to be that 2,000 yard rusher.